in the static, it's in the moisture.
Prepare to unleash your darkest fears with Shudder's 20 best, scariest horror movies. From heart-pounding scares to twisted tales of terror, these spine-chilling selections will haunt your dreams. Number 20, Gwen.
Get out! Get out!
As the blood passes from the body, so does the evil.
In the mist-choked hills of 19th century Wales, a young girl named Gwen watches her world rot from the inside out. Her father's absence is a mystery. Her mother grows sicker and stranger by the day, and their farm, isolated and cursed by whispers, seems to repel all light. When livestock turn up mutilated and villagers cast cold, accusing stares, Gwen is forced to protect her family against a creeping, unseen malevolence. Directed by William McGregor, Gwen smolders with folk horror dread, mixing haunting silence, decaying superstition, and the slow decay of sanity. Every shadow in the valley holds secrets, and survival comes at a terrifying cost. Number 19, Metamorphosis. Directed by Peter Ostrouchov, this grief-soaked body horror begins with a missing child and ends in irreversible transformation. Roman, a father shattered by loss, descends into a maze of ancient cults and whispered rituals as he searches for his daughter. But as he uncovers the truth, his body begins to change, muscles convulsing, bones distorting, identity slipping. The farther he travels, the less human he becomes, until the question isn't whether he'll find her, but what he'll become when he does. A descent into obsession where grief mutates into something monstrous. Fusing myth with mutation, it's a grotesque meditation on how far a parent will go to bring their child home. Number 18, Hellbender.
Have you been in my dreams? If you break my heart, I'll devour you.
High in the secluded woods, a teenage girl named Izzy lives in eerie isolation with her mother, told that a rare illness keeps her from the outside world. But when a chance encounter with another teen unlocks her hunger for connection and something darker, Izzy begins to unravel the truth. The illness is a lie. Her lineage is a legacy of witches, and what flows in her veins isn't sickness, it's power. Directed by the Addams Family, Hellbender is a psychedelic blend of folk horror and coming-of-age terror. Number 17, Dead Silence.
Beware the stare of Mary Shaw.
James Wan revisits old-school ghost story territory with a curse that whispers through wood and silence. Jamie returns home after his wife is found dead, mouth agape, tongue ripped out. The only clue, a doll from his childhood and a legend of Mary Shaw, a murdered ventriloquist with a vendetta and a rhyme that still echoes in town. As Jamie uncovers the truth, her dolls begin to appear, always staring, always still. And when the silence deepens, you know she's close. With its puppet-lined corridors and razor-sharp suspense, this is a shriek wrapped in a whisper, haunted, hollow, and deadly. Number 16, Saloum.
Ça a commencé.
When three notorious mercenaries crash-land their escape plane in the remote Saloum Delta of Senegal, they seek refuge in a mysterious village hiding ancient secrets. What begins as a mission to lay low soon spirals into a waking nightmare, as the past resurfaces and an ancient curse awakens from the sands. Led by director Jean-Luc Herbulot, Saloum fuses Western grit, supernatural horror, and African folklore into a genre-bending fever dream. Beneath sun-scorched skies and whispering winds, something ancient and vengeful hunts the living, and not all who vanish are truly gone. Number 15, The Dark and the Wicked.
Isn't crazy.
Do you smell him? He's close now.
Brian Bertino returns with a tale soaked in dread, death, and something deeply unholy. Louise and Michael arrive at their childhood farmhouse to care for their dying father. But something else is already in the home. Their mother is haunted by whispers, sheep are slaughtered in silence, and shadowed figures stand where no one should. As the days pass, the evil doesn't knock. It bleeds from the walls, a force born not of possession but despair. Even memory becomes a weapon, turning the familiar into something cursed. With spare dialogue and mounting horror, this is rural terror at its bleakest, quiet, cruel, and unforgettable. Number 14, The Advent Calendar.
Avec ce calendrier, ça va te rendre dingue.
Tu prends bien tes médocs contre tes hallucinations, tout ça?
Paralyzed and bitter, Eva lives a quiet, joyless existence until her friend gifts her a mysterious antique Advent calendar. But each door hides something more sinister than chocolate. Blood-soaked miracles, deadly choices, and a countdown that demands sacrifice. As Eva's life begins to twist with strange fortune and unholy consequences, the calendar tightens its grip, revealing that every gift comes with a curse. Directed by Patrick Ridremont, the Advent Calendar is a slow-burning nightmare wrapped in holiday dread, mixing supernatural horror with Faustian tension. Number 13, Deadstream. Joseph and Vanessa Winter deliver a Scream Queen showdown for the TikTok age. Cancelled influencer Sean live streams a night in a haunted house to win back his fans, mocking the spirits, joking through creaks, and dismissing blood-stained warnings. But once the sun sets, everything turns. Viewers watch in real time as the haunting turns physical. Shadows move, voices chant, and Sean loses control. As likes rise, so do the dead. Equal parts hilarious and horrifying, it's a savage takedown of online fame with a comment section you'll wish you never opened. Number 12, Psycho Goreman.
Find me! Find me or you all die! Ah!
In a quiet suburb, two mischievous siblings accidentally resurrect an ancient alien warlord buried in their backyard. He was once the destroyer of galaxies, but now, bound by a magical amulet, he must obey their childish whims. What follows is a twisted comedy of cosmic carnage as Psycho Goreman, PG for short, struggles between slaughter and servitude, while darker forces from beyond the stars close in. Directed by Steven Kostanski, the film is a gory, neon-drenched love letter to 80s creature features and sci-fi horror. It's absurd, grotesque, and soaked in blood, all wrapped in Saturday morning cartoon chaos. Number 11, Mads.
Je suis pas folle. Je suis folle.
Jacob Jarrett crafts a snowbound psychological thriller as quiet as falling ice and just as sharp. When Mads offers refuge to a wounded stranger at his family's cabin, old secrets begin to crack through the frost. The man knows things he shouldn't, details from Mads's past, traumas long buried. As suspicion spreads, the house fractures into tension and silence, and the woods press in closer. What begins as hospitality turns into a psychological siege. It's not about who the stranger is, it's about who Mads was before he let him in. A frozen game of identity. Here are 3 other movies you have to see. Color Out of Space. After a meteorite crashes on their remote farm, a family begins to experience bizarre changes. Animals mutate, time fractures, and a strange color begins to infect everything it touches. Directed by Richard Stanley and starring Nicolas Cage, this adaptation of Lovecraft's tale is a psychedelic body horror spiral into madness. The Righteous. A priest offers shelter to a stranger with too many questions and far too many answers. What starts as confession becomes confrontation, with salvation on the line. Sweet, sweet, lonely girl. A quiet, withdrawn girl named Adele moves into care for her reclusive, ailing aunt in a crumbling old house. But when she befriends the mysterious and seductive Beth, her world begins to shift into something darker and more dangerous. As the aunt's condition worsens and Adele's identity begins to erode, the line between love, possession, and the supernatural blurs. Number 10, Vicious Fun.
Oh my god! Who is that?
Phil.
Joel, a horror movie critic with social anxiety, stumbles into a self-help group for serial killers, and he's the only non-killer in the room. Trapped and desperate, he must outwit a bloodthirsty lineup of maniacs straight out of the movies he obsesses over. But as the night spirals into chaos, Joel realizes fiction has nothing on the real horrors that surround him. Directed by Cody Callahan, Vicious Fun is a neon-soaked, synth-laced descent into retro-styled terror with razor-sharp humor and brutal kills. It's part satire, part slasher, all soaked in 80s dread and fluorescent blood. Number 9, Sputnik. Igor Abramenko's Soviet-era sci-fi horror traps its terror inside a sealed military facility. After a cosmonaut crashes to Earth with memory loss, the government calls in a disgraced psychologist to evaluate him. But at night, the truth emerges. An alien parasite lives inside his body, exiting as he sleeps and feeding without remorse. As she battles to expose the truth, the line between containment and complicity blurs. The cosmonaut may be a host, but he's no longer in control. With sleek dread and surgical gore, it's The Thing meets Cold War secrecy, a story where loyalty is as parasitic as the alien inside. Number 8, Seance. In a dim, aging Tokyo apartment, a couple stumbles upon a lost little girl with no memory of who she is or how she got there. But when they decide to keep her hidden to avoid suspicion, the walls begin to whisper, and time itself feels cursed. Something followed the girl into their home. Something spectral, watching from the shadows. Seance is a masterclass in restrained supernatural horror, dripping with atmosphere and quiet dread. The film builds a slow, suffocating tension, with each whisper and creaking floorboard unraveling sanity and morality alike. Number 7, Host.
Emma, so funny.
Rob Savage delivers a lightning-fast horror experience filmed entirely in lockdown. A group of friends hires a medium over Zoom for a playful seance, but one prank opens a door that should have stayed closed. What follows is a 56-minute scream fest as shadows crawl across bedrooms, screens freeze mid-scream, and everyone's home becomes a hunting ground. The entity doesn't need to travel. It's already in the call. Short, savage, and terrifyingly real, it turns your laptop into a portal and your silence into bait. Number 6, Mad God. In a decaying, nightmarish world of endless industrial ruins and writhing monstrosities, a gas-masked figure descends through layers of hell on a mysterious mission. What lies below is beyond comprehension. Grotesque mutations, torture machines, and a godless void where language, logic, and life itself break apart. Directed by legendary effects master Phil Tippett, Mad God is a stop-motion fever dream decades in the making, wordless and relentless in its descent into madness. There's no plot in the traditional sense, only a journey through a world where hope is obsolete and suffering is eternal. Each frame is handcrafted terror. Each sound a metallic whisper from the abyss. Number 5, The Loved Ones.
Boy, shouldn't it, girls?
I'm going to stab a hole.
Sean Byrne turns heartbreak into high-octane horror in this Aussie prom night bloodbath. When Brent says no to Lola's invitation, she throws her own party, complete with streamers, drills, and a father who thinks love means mutilation. Brent wakes up tied to a chair, surrounded by dolls, music, and glitter-coated tools. Escape means digging through pain, and the only way out is through Lola's madness. Think Pretty in Pink meets Misery, with a tiara, a hammer, and no chaperone in sight. Number 4, Tigers Are Not Afraid. In the war-torn streets of Mexico, where the cartels have devoured entire neighborhoods and stolen countless lives, a young girl named Estrella is granted 3 wishes. But each wish comes at a horrifying price. After her mother disappears, Estrella joins a gang of orphaned children who navigate the ruins of their childhood, dodging gangsters, ghosts, and the ever-present specter of death. As supernatural forces begin to coil around them, reality blurs with nightmare, and the line between the living and the dead vanishes. The film is a dark fairy tale soaked in blood and sorrow, blending gritty cartel violence with haunting magical realism. Number 3, Aterrados. Demian Rugna's Argentinian horror masterpiece opens with a corpse smashing around a bathroom like it's being dragged by something unseen, and that's the quiet part. In one neighborhood, supernatural phenomena multiply. A child returns from the dead. A man is swallowed by his own house. And the rules of space, time, and death break down. Paranormal investigators arrive, but they're only observers to a chaos no one can explain. It's not one haunting. It's all of them, all at once. A full-on assault of relentless terror that never lets you breathe. Number 2, One Cut of the Dead. A low-budget film crew sets out to shoot a zombie movie in an abandoned water treatment plant, only to be attacked by actual zombies. What begins as a frantic, blood-soaked, single-take survival scenario quickly unravels into something far more twisted and brilliant. The film is a genre-defying horror comedy that peels back the layers of filmmaking, madness, and pure creative chaos. The first 37 minutes are a relentless one-take zombie frenzy, but the real horror and humor emerges in the unraveling that follows. Beneath the gore and screams lies a heart-pounding celebration of passion, desperation, and the unholy magic of storytelling. It's a film that transforms itself mid-bite, catching viewers off guard and dragging them into something truly unforgettable. Number 1. When Evil Lurks. Demian Rugna unleashes an unholy contagion in this rural possession shocker. Two brothers discover a rotten, a man possessed and ready to give birth to evil. Instead of following protocol, they dispose of him and unleash a spreading darkness that infects everyone it touches. There's no time to call a priest, no rules to follow. The infection spreads like a plague, fast, violent, and deeply personal. This isn't a ghost story. It's the beginning of the end. Possession is outbreak, faith is failure, and fear that leaves no survivors. Here are 4 other movies you have to see. Calvaire. A traveling singer's van breaks down in the middle of nowhere, and he's offered shelter by a lonely innkeeper who seems far too eager to keep him there. What begins as awkward hospitality slowly rots into psychological horror and grotesque delusion. In this twisted descent, the line between man and beast vanishes, and escape becomes a cruel illusion. Best wishes to all. A casual dinner party becomes a tight-lipped horror as guests reveal secrets in smiles and threats in toasts. Welcome to suburban horror, where etiquette kills. Caveat. A drifter with partial memory loss is hired to watch over a psychologically unstable young woman in a decaying house on an isolated island. But there's a catch. He must wear a leather harness that limits his movement. As the walls close in and strange visions begin, he realizes he's part of something far more sinister. In this claustrophobic nightmare, isolation isn't the scariest part. It's what's already inside. Zed, a child's imaginary friend, becomes a family's waking nightmare. Z plays games, demands attention, and won't take no for an answer. Best wishes to all. A casual dinner party becomes a tight-lipped horror as guests reveal secrets in smiles and threats in toasts. Welcome to suburban horror, where etiquette kills.